Perek Yutet, the 19th chapter of Chronicles, again continues with the stories of King David. And after that, sometime later, Nachash, the king of the Ammonites, died, and his son succeeded him as king. And of course, Israel and Ammon have a long history that began, of course, with Lot, Avram's nephew, whose two children were Moab and Ammon, and they didn't always get along, and there were fights between them, and it didn't always work out so well. And this is a recounting of what's in Shmuel Bet Perek Yud. There, the name of the king is mentioned, Chanun. Vayomer David e'eseh chesed im Chanun ben Nachash ki asa aviv imi chesed. Vaishlach David malachim lenachamo al aviv vayavo abdei David el eretz bnei Ammon el Chanun lenachamo. So Nachash had been kind to David, and so David says, "Let me send some messengers to offer my condolences to him." And those who say David had his family stay with them. We talked about that yesterday, that maybe the Moabites killed members of his family. That's why he took great revenge against them, which wasn't recorded here in Divrei Haymim, but was recorded in the book of Shmuel. And so maybe that's what it was. So it's not exactly clear as to what it is that they did, but he wants to offer condolences to somebody that he saw as a friend and an ally. So he sends some messengers. David et avicha beinecha ki shalach lecha menachamim halo bavur lachor v'lahapoch uleragel haaretz bo avadav elecha. So the Ammonite said to Hanun, "Do you think David's really honoring your father? You think he's just sending them to offer condolences? It's all just a plot. It's all just to spy out our land, in order then, obviously, to come and to conquer our land." And so interestingly, what the rabbis talk about in the commentaries is that it says about Ammon that you're not supposed to doresh shalom. You shouldn't be kind to them. You shouldn't ask them for kindness because they weren't kind to Bnei Israel. When Bnei Israel were on their way from Egypt to Israel. So some of the commentaries are sort of put that idea, that mitzvah, in there. Part of the, to me, interesting thing in this chapter and with the first story is that David has been shown to be this great warrior who's conquered many, many people. And if he wanted to conquer the Ammonites, he probably would have just sent his army and conquered them. Did he really need to send in spies at this point? So it may be certainly is a miscalculation on the part of Hanun's wise men, his courtiers, but nevertheless, that's what he decides. So in verse 4, Vaikach Hanun et abdei David vayigalcheim vayichrot madvehem b'chatzi ad hamifsa'a vayishalcheim. So what did Hanun do? He took David's messengers and he shaved them, cutting away half of their garments up to their buttocks and sent them off. So he shaved like seemingly half of them, half of their face, and embarrassing them. Vayelchu vayagidu leDavid al anashim vayishlach lekotam ki hayu anashim nichlamim ba'od v'yomer Elimelech shvu v'yiricho ad asher yitzamach ziknechem v'shavtem. And when David was told about them, he sent messengers to meet them because the men were sort of in hiding. And the king said, "Stay in Jericho till your beards grow back. Then you can return. You won't look strange anymore. You'll look like everybody else in society, and you won't be embarrassed by the way that you look." And maybe David says to says to them, I'll give you food, etc., etc. The Ammonites realized that they had made David angry. So what did Hanun do? He sends 1,000 silver talents to hire chariots and horsemen from Aram Naharaim and Aram Macha and Sova. So his army's not big enough, so he's sending out money to hire others to help him wage war. Vayiskeru lahem shnayim u'shloshim elef rechav v'et melech ma'achav v'et amo v'yaviu v'yachanu lifnei meidva uvnei Ammon nasfu me'arehem v'yavo lamilchama. They hired 32,000 chariots. The king of Ma'acha and his army who came and encamped before Dava, and the Ammon, right? So they have this whole army of their people, and also from Aram, from Aram Sova, and from Aram Naharaim and Aram Ma'acha. So they have 32,000 chariots. It's quite a big army that they have assembled. Vaishma David, word gets to David about the Ammonites. Vaishlach et Yoav et kol tzva hagiborim. And he sends out Yoav and the entire army, the strongest, the greatest of his fighters amongst them, he sends out to fight against the people of Ammon. Okay, so we have this big army is going. This big fight is going to happen between the Jewish people and Ammon, and David sends out Yoav here to fight the battle. Okay, and what happens? Let's see. People of Ammon, they march out, they take up their battle positions at the entrance of the city, while the kings who came took their stand separately in the open. So we have some sort of in the open and some who are at the entrance to the city. So Yoav saw that there was a battle line against him, both front and rear. So they're sort of surrounded. So he selects young men from his army, and he sort of aligns them. He sets them up against the Arameans. And the other group he puts under the command of his brother Avishai, and they're supposed to fight the Ammonites. So some are going to fight against the Arameans, and the other ones are going to fight against the Ammonites. And he says, Vayomer, so Yoav says to him, if the Arameans prove too strong for me, you come to my aid, and if the Ammonites prove too strong for you, I will come to your aid. And then he offers some words of literally chizuk. Chazak v'nit chazka bi'amenu v'yadarei Eloheinu v'Adonai hatov be'inav yaseh. Let us be strong, let us be resolute for the sake of our people and the towns of our God, and God will do what he sees is the right thing to do. So we have this sense of the this battle lines being drawn. We have this sense of fighting, and we're all in this together, and we'll see what God decides to do for us. So he gives a little pep talk, a little pep rally. So Yoav and the troops with him, they march in battle against the Arameans. The Arameans flee straight away. We don't know how deep it is. So when the Ammonites saw that the Arameans had fled, and these were their hired people who were supposed to maybe be great warriors, so they also withdrew into the city, and Yoav went up to Jerusalem. In verse 16, pasuk Tetzayin, so when Aram saw that they had been routed by Israel and they're running away, they sent messengers to bring out the Arameans from across the Euphrates. Shofach Hadazer's army commander would lead them. So they sent for more soldiers. Is what they're doing here. They're regrouping under Hadadezer, and will they now be able to be successful? So now that they have they've brought in their reinforcements. In verse 17 in pasuk Yud Zayin, Vayugad leDavid, Vayasof et kol Yisrael, Vayavor Yarden, Vayavo aleim, Vayaroch aleim, Vayarach David lekrat Aram melchama v'yalchu mimo. So when the Arameans bring in extra troops, the reinforcements, they tell David about it, and David gathers up all of Israel, all of his soldiers. Maybe it only sends some into battle, now he sends the rest into battle, and they take up positions against Aram. And here we have David with his forces against Aram, who are going to fight with them. And once again, Vayanas Aram milifnei Yisrael, Vayarog David me'aram shivat alafim rechev v'arba'im elef ish ragli yet shofach sar hatzava hemit. But the Arameans, the Jews killed them, and they're running away. They're running back home. David kills 7,000 Aramean charioteers and 40,000 footmen, and he also kills the army commander Shofach. fach, and there are some slight discrepancies here in the numbers. In the book of Shmuel, it talks about 700. Here it's 7,000. There it's shovach. Here it's shofach. A slight different pronunciation. Here it's 40,000 foot soldiers. There it's 40,000 horsemen. So they're slightly different details in terms of the amount of soldiers. This is not a surprise, the 7,000 versus 700, because of course it's magnifying, making David look greater than in the book of Shmuel, as we've discussed, is one of the goals of Divrei Haymim. Continuing verse 19, Pasuk Yud, Vayiru avdei hadadezer ki nikfu lifnei Yisrael vayashlimu im David vayavduhu v'lo ava Aram lo shiam et bnei Ammon od. And so when all of the vassals of Hadadezer saw that they had been absolutely routed and destroyed by Israel, they submitted to David and became his vassals, and the Arameans would not help the Ammonites anymore. So it's another, of the theme of this book of military successes of David, and showing how strong and how powerful he and his army are. There's some, slight discrepancies, with how many numbers of horses and particular names of people. But again, it's a great victory for Israel, led by King David, once again showing his greatness and showing why, therefore, the Jews who are coming back, Second Temple period, fledgling, are they going to be successful? Are they going to be able to defeat their enemies? It's unclear, but look at what we've done in the past. And the same way Yoav says, Chazak v'nit chazek. So that's what we should be saying as well. We'll be able to defeat our enemies. Our little non-autonomous territory will become a great nation, just like it had in the past. That's the hope and sort of the, if you want to put it as such, propaganda of this book and what it's trying to inspire to the people of the Second Temple period.